Go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Gunn, and I am the coordinator of digital scholarship here at Catholic University of America Libraries. Today, we're going to be looking at RefWorks, a bibliographical citation management software package. This presentation will be given by my colleague, Benjamin Cushing, Research and Instruction Librarian. The workshop is being recorded and will be made available at a later date along with the slides. Take it away, Ben.
Thank you for the introduction, Kevin. Today we are going to be showcasing ProQuest RefWorks Citation Manager. It is designed to create, store, manage, and cite bibliographic references, such as books and articles. This workshop will help you to learn the basics of RefWorks that you can begin managing your research in an effective way. To get started with RefWorks, this workshop will cover getting into RefWorks, including where it is on the library website and creating your account. Creating a project and folders in RefWorks to start organizing your research, adding references into RefWorks, an overview of RefWorks features and tools that will help you get the most out of RefWorks, and we'll finish with generating your own bibliographies. Once we have finished today's workshop, you will feel confident in using RefWorks to manage your citations. Let's get started. To get started with RefWorks, the first thing you need to do is log in. This can be done on the library's homepage. You can find it by typing in libraries.catholic.edu, as I have done in the search bar, or by searching for Mullen Library in a search engine and selecting Catholic University Libraries page, which is usually the first result. Once on the library homepage, hover over Research Help and select Citation Tools. If you already have an account, ProQuest RefWorks clicking right here will log you in. You can also sign in using this link right here. If you do not have an account, you can click on the Sign Up button here. If you are just signing up, this is what it's going to look like for you. It's going to ask you to enter in an email. Please enter in your CUA email, as we have already paid for an account through our library fees when you enrolled as a student. It's going to check your email, and if you don't already have an account, it's going to ask you to set up a password, and then it'll ask you to confirm that through your email, and then you will have a RefWorks account. If you put in your email and for some reason you already have an account, you can go up here to already have an account login, select that, and put your email and password in this way. Now, if you are off campus and you already have an account, you can click on the ProQuest RefWorks here, and you'll notice it uses our proxy server, OpenAthens, to log you in. It may have you sign in with your CUA username and password when it uses this proxy, but since I was already signed in, I didn't have to do this. Once you've created your RefWorks account and you can log in, it's going to look something like this. Now, I already have some references, so I'm very briefly going to show you what a new account looks like by creating a new project. This is what it looks like before you have added anything to your RefWorks account. Now, before we start adding references, let's first look at how you create projects. Projects are the highest level you can organize references in RefWorks. Use projects when you want to keep collections of references sealed off from each other. To make changes to projects, you need to go up here to this little drop-down, and you're going to click Manage Projects. On this page, you can create a new project, as I just did with the unentitled project. You can also make changes to projects by clicking over here on the Actions button. Here you can rename a project. So for this, I actually want to rename my project Mental Health Interventions, as that's what I want to focus on my research today. Actually going to do it this way. And I'm going to click Save. Additionally, you can also share your project, so you can share that with another user. Set as current project. This will make sure when you sign in to RefWorks, this will be the project that you are working on. And you can also delete projects on this page. Now let's select the project that I just renamed, the Mental Health Interventions. Next, let's create a folder. Folders are a great way to organize your references. You can create folders organized by source type, subtopics on a subject, different class assignments, and more. Folders are found on the left-hand side bar titled My Folders. Click on this My Folders tab and then click Add Folder. A pop-up box pops up and asks you to name the folder. I will name mine Mental Health Interventions, since that's what I want to find sources on. And then you click Save, and now you have a folder. We can now use this folder to start adding references. And now that we have talked about both projects and folders, the next step is to start adding references. And there's a few ways to do this. The first way is to add them while in RefWorks. Before we even add a reference, we can decide where it goes. If we do not want to use a folder, select all references. So I'm going to select it right here at the top, and you'll notice right here in all bold, it says all references. If we want to use a folder, we can go down to My Folder and select the folder. And now you'll notice that it says Mental Health Interventions at the top, which tells me any source I put in here, create here, is going to go in this folder. Now we are going to create our first reference. You create references by clicking the Add button up here, and let's start by creating a manual reference. When you click on Create Reference Manually, it opens up this right-hand pop-up window. You can start by choosing a reference type, which changes the fields you will be filling in. The default is journal article, but you can do many reference types, including books, videos, journals, and web pages, by clicking on and scrolling through these different options. Let's start by creating a book citation. Notice that when I change the citation type, it changes the fields that we can fill out. For this project, I am working on mental health interventions, so I'm going to add the book Scaling Effective School Mental Health Interventions and Practices. And I'm going to start by inputting the title. Then you add the author, and I know one of the authors is Kern Lee. And what's nice about RefWorks is when you're inputting information, if it needs to be a certain way, it tells you how you should enter it. So for authors, it's saying last name, comma, first name, or organization, and always put them on separate lines. Next, I am going to put the date the book was published, which was 2024. And then I'm going to add the publisher, which is Springer. Now, I am not going to put a place of publication because it is an ebook, but usually I would put that there. If there is another edition, you can add the edition here. So if it's not the first edition, add the edition. And once all of those fields are filled out, you click Save. And this is what a book citation looks like in RefWorks. Now, we didn't fill out all the fields and we could have filled out more. If you need to make edits, just click on this right-hand pencil tool here, and you can make changes to your reference. So if something was incorrect, or you wanted to add that maybe this is the second edition, you can do that by clicking that edit tool and clicking Save. Notice it took a while to fill in all those fields. That can be avoided by using the Find and Complete tool when adding a reference. This tool is indicated by a blue lightning bolt on select fields. The fields will vary by the resource type selected. So I'm going to click Add, Create Reference Manually, and I'm going to leave it defaulted to Journal Article. And you'll notice again, the fields are different from the book. So for this, I'm going to use the journal article, Optimizing Psychiatric Social Work Interventions, Formulating Guidelines for Mental Health Settings. So I'm going to put that in the title here, and I'm going to click on this blue lightning bolt. Now there isn't blue lightning bolts for every field, and it will depend on the field your type of research you're using, but for journal articles, you can use the title, the ISSN number, or a DOI to use this tool. I'm going to click on it, and a box appears at the bottom of the window with a list of potential sources you can choose from. Make sure you are selecting the source you are looking for. In this example, we have two options that look kind of similar, but I can tell one of them is the journal article I am looking for. So I'm going to click on this Optimizing Psychiatric Social Work, and it auto-populates all of these fields for me. Now I'm going to click Save, and I have my citation here. Now, if for whatever reason it put in some incorrect information, I can again click that edit button and make changes here. Additionally, if that was not the correct source, I can always add and use the blue lightning bolt again to select the other article that was given. Now that we have created a manual reference, let's look at the first add option, which is upload a document. This lets you upload PDFs into RefWorks, and RefWorks will pull metadata such as the title, author, and publisher to fill out the reference, and you can even read this PDF in RefWorks. So I'm going to click on Add, Upload Document, and it's going to pull up my File Explorer. So for this example, I'm going to use the article Improving Outcomes for Babies and Toddlers in Child Welfare. Click Open, and initially you'll notice it's missing a ton of fields. It's indicating there's no author, publisher, stuff like that. But if I click on it, it's going to fill out the information for me. And you'll notice that it's actually putting the document into RefWorks, and that'll show up in the attachments page when you click on the source to tell you it's loading. And when it's ready, you can actually read it here. Now, do take a few moments after you've added the information and check the metadata, because sometimes RefWorks will make mistakes. So just make sure the author, the title, etc. is all correct when you're importing references this way. The final way to add references is the Import References From button. There's two options here. There's Import a Word or PDF option, and I'm going to click on that. On this page, you can select or drag a Word document or PDF. This feature lets users upload a Word or PDF file that contains references, and RefWorks will automatically import those references. It uses a special tool to find and extract the reference list from the document. I will now upload the PDF we used in the previous example. Like the upload document before, we select it and then upload it, and most PDF and Word files are supported and can be processed successfully. You'll know it's been uploaded because it'll show the PDF here. Now, it gives you a few options when you're doing this. You can assign it to a folder, and so for this, I will assign it to my mental health intervention folder. You can actually have it search for full text. So for example, if it's in one of our databases, you can check here and it'll actually look up the full text for you. Ignore duplicates. So if you already have the article in here or one of the references you're importing, it will allow you to have that duplicate if it is checked. And then also it'll ask you if you want to import this PDF/Word document as its own source. But as we know from earlier, I already uploaded it, so I am going to leave this unchecked. And I'm going to click Import. And this may take a few moments just depending on how many sources it's importing. I know, for example, this one has 38, so you may have to wait for it to load. And there we go. Finally, the process was complete. And if it was done successfully, you'll get this green check mark, import process complete. It tells you how many references it imported from the document. And then to check the reference, you just go to last imported. And we can see that we have added a ton of documents here. The second option under add is other file types. So import references from other file types. This allows you to import references directly from Mendeley or upload a citation file such as an RIS or BibTeX file. For Mendeley, you click on this Import from Mendeley button, and it's going to ask you to authorize RefWorks. And then it's going to move over to Mendeley. Now, it's already under my CUA account, so it pops up, and it's going to ask, is this the account? And if it is, you click Proceed. And then it will import the references over. And for this option, it copied over my 3 references in Mendeley. And again, the green check mark means it was successful. And if I go to last import, there are my 3 documents. You can also import references by uploading a file from your computer using popular file formats such as RIS, BibTeX, and PubMed. So I'm going to click Add, Other File Types. And this is where you can add those different file types that I just mentioned. So select it, and I have one RIS file here. When selecting it, RefWorks will try and recognize it. Here is my example, and it says, we think this is an RIS file. If not, you can actually have it search for a different format for it to upload. Additionally, it will ask you if there's a particular database you got this RIS file from, which will just help it import it if you do have your listed database there. For this one, I don't, so I'm just going to click import. And it's going to ask you if you want to assign it to a folder, and I will for this instance. And you can also import tags from database. I'll talk about tags a little bit more later on in this presentation, and it'll also give you the ignore duplicates option. So I'm going to click import, and as we know with the green check mark, that means it worked. References can also be imported from the library catalog search box in a variety of databases, such as Academic Search Complete. So for this, I'm going to go to the library catalog. This is search box, our library catalog, and for this, I'm going to search for mental health interventions. So I'm going to put that into search box. And for this example, I'm going to want an article specifically, so I'm going to click on the resource type articles to filter by articles. And I'm taking a quick search around, and this, the youth aware of mental health intervention, impact on health seeking, mental health knowledge, and stigma in US adolescents, looks like it could be a good article. So I'm going to click on it to open up the library record. And now that I'm on this page, there's the send to option, and it has a bunch of different options. One of them is the RefWorks button. So for this, I'm going to click on it. It's going to take me to RefWorks. Now, unlike some of the other options of importing, it actually lets you select a project for this one. I'm just going to leave it with mental health interventions. You can assign it to a folder, and it will also let you import tags, search for full text, and ignore duplicates. And I'm going to click import. And that's how you add a source from Searchbox. And it looks like every other reference once it's imported. Now, the other way you can add references is by using one of the library's databases. To get to the database I want, I'm going to click on Database, and this is going to let me search for the database I want. For this example, I am going to use the Scopus Database Academic Search Complete. Interesting. I'm just going to pull it up right here. Click on that. And here we are in Academic Search Complete, and I'm going to again do a search for mental health interventions. There's a few different ways that you can add references to RefWorks using EBSCO databases specifically. I actually do not want prostate cancer, so I'm going to change that. The first way is if you're just on this page and you immediately see a reference that sticks out, you click on the ellipses next to the record, and you're going to click this Cite button right here. And once you click Cite, you're going to select the Export Citation option and click the Export to RefWorks. This will take you to RefWorks, where again, you can select a project, choose a folder, and click the Import button. Say you found an article you think is really nice, you've clicked on it, for example, this one, a systematic review. I click on it. The spot's in a little bit of a different place, but if you go up to the top next to the title and click on the Cite button, again, you can export the citation directly into RefWorks. It looks something like that, and then you would click import if you wanted to add it. Now that's great, that's a single citation. What if you wanted to add multiple citations at once? You do a search, you want to add multiple things, you can do that with EBSCO. If you wanted to do a lot, I would recommend changing how many you can see. You can show up to 50 and do 50 at once in Academic Search Complete. And if you just click on this checkbox here, that'll select all the references. If there was one you didn't want in this list for some reason, you can always deselect it. But you go to the top and you're going to click again that Cite button, Export Citation, Export to RefWorks, which because it's a little bit more sources, it takes a little bit longer, but the import is the same way. The final way you can use EBSCO to export your citations is to do it with projects. Projects in EBSCO are just folders where you've assigned a title to it and you can save sources. You do have to be signed into your EBSCO account to do this, but this is great, especially if you weren't using a citation manager before and you wanted to move your references over from EBSCO. You could do that. So you go under My Dashboard Projects, select the project you want to use, and it'll list all the records you have in there. You can select one or all of them by clicking the Select All button. This is the only one that looks kind of different. It's going to be a file with an arrow. That's how you export, and it opens up the Export Citation window, and you just export to RefWorks. And you can assign it, again, wherever you want. Click Import, and it's all been added into RefWorks. These are just some of the different ways you can start adding references to RefWorks. Now that we've created a few references, let's go over how you can organize your references in RefWorks using the reference organization bar, the left side bar in RefWorks. First is all references. This is the top bar. This will show you all the references you have imported into a project, whether or not they're in a folder. This tab is a great way to check how many references you have and make changes to references as needed. Next is Search Database. This tab allows you to search articles directly in RefWorks from PubMed and Library of Congress. We will not be focusing on this today. Next is Last Imported. This tab shows the references you have imported over the last 30 days. It filters by newest first and is a great way of keeping track of any new references you may have added. Then we're onto the Duplicates tab. Here you can have RefWorks search for duplicates by selecting this Find Duplicates button. This will open a new window. It asks you first to determine the primary reference. It does this by completeness, the reference with the most information available, newest, the reference that was most recently added, and oldest, the reference that was added first. Next, we have the matching settings. So references must match exactly for RefWorks to flag a duplicate or references that are similar. When you choose the one that references are similar, RefWorks weighs the data for similarity for selected fields. If enough items are similar, RefWorks will suggest a match. Lastly, it has you select the fields you would like it to look for duplicates. This is just a way for RefWorks to be able to process it faster than searching every single field of the reference. The pre-selected is title, author, and year, but you can also select more such as ISBN, ISSN, and DOI. For this one, I'm going to have it do completeness, the reference with the most information, and then only have references that match exactly to find duplicates. And then you click the Find Duplicates button. This can take some time, and RefWorks is going to tell you that here. You can see the process of it finding duplicates under the Duplicates tab, and it'll have a loading bar. And then look, it was pretty quick. It already found results. When it finds results, it says process completed, see results. And you'll notice that it has 6 duplicates found. And so it will auto select the duplicates for you. It does not select the primary reference we had earlier. And so if you don't need these duplicates, it's really, really easy. They're already selected. You click the delete button and you can move the duplicates to trash. It also just lets you move all duplicates to trash so you don't have to select them, but it does pre-select the duplicates for you. And then now that I deleted the duplicates, it no longer shows them. Next up is sharing. Sharing gives you the option to share a folder. Once selected, it gives you the option to choose any folders you have. And so we have the mental health interventions folder with 91 sources. Once you have a folder selected, it gives you the option to choose only invited people may access this. So people, you give the URL on the next part of this or share directly with email, or you can have anyone within the organization may join this folder. I'll show you where that is located, but if you select this, anyone with a RefWorks account and a CUA account can access your folder. Now, once I have chosen my folder, I can create a public URL to share the contents of the folder, or I can just email this person directly. So for my example, I can type in my email, cushingb@cua.edu. And when you're sharing it with individuals, you can give them read access only, annotate access, or modify access. And you can also share a message as well if need be. And then you click share folder. So I'm not going to do that right now. But where you can see other folders from Catholic is also under the sharing buttons. So if you did share the folder with the Catholic organization and clicked on this tab, you would be able to see your folder there for everyone with a RefWorks account to see. So just be mindful of that if you are sharing folders. Next is My Folders. It gives you some different options. We already did add a folder, so I'm not going to go over that. But if you click on the ellipses next to any folder, it gives you these options. You can create a subfolder within your folders. You can rename a folder. You can share a folder, kind of like what we did up here. Move your folder, copy your folder, find duplicates like we did up here as well, or you can delete your folder. Next up is tags. So RefWorks has the ability to add tags, customer predetermined, to citations. It gives you the ability to search by those tags. RefWorks sometimes supplies the tags to your articles based on keywords and other information when importing your references from the catalog or a database. In the tag section, you can see all the tags for your sources. So if I click on a tag, we'll do active learning, I can see any source that uses that tag or adults. So adults comes up with more. Any source that has the adult tag, when I click on the adult tag, pops up here. You can create your own custom tags as well when you're editing a reference. So I'm going to click on this reference here, and I click the edit button here. There is a whole list of tags already associated with this, but I can either type in my own tag. So for this, I'm going to write test, do that. And it also auto-populates with options of any tags that are already in RefWorks, in your RefWorks account, that isn't necessarily tied to this reference. So like, for example, active learning pops up. And so you could add active learning as a tag here. So I'm going to click save since I added that tag. You can also search for tags either using this search button up here or by searching under tags, search for tags. So I'm going to search for test and click on test. And then any reference that uses test as a tag will pop up here. So this can be a great way to help you filter and organize your sources by giving them specific tags or looking at the tags they already have and see which references have related tags. Last on this bar is the trash bar. Trash is where deleted references are moved to. These references stay indefinitely until they are deleted in this tab. This is done by clicking one or more references and then clicking the delete button up here. Here you will permanently delete any of your deleted items. So you can either delete the selected or delete all 6. I'm just going to delete all 6 for this demonstration. And notice it has this pop-up. This action cannot be undone. References cannot be uncovered. So the only way to get these references back would be to re-import them into RefWorks once you delete them the second time. And I've deleted it, and now no references in the trash. Alrighty, now I want to show off some top bar features. The first one I want to show off is the display feature. Display is found in the right top hand corner of RefWorks. So here it gives you a couple different options. First is display how many pages, references per page. You can do anywhere from 25 to 2000. You can also choose a different view for each of your references. The default is the normal view. This is a minimalist view. The references in this list display their associated folders and tags, as well as an icon if access to the citation text is available. But you'll notice it only contains the bare bones information. Next, we have full view. Full view is an expanded view and shows everything associated with the references. For this example, right, we can even see like the abstract associated with each source if it's available in your reference. So if you need to see everything in a reference, the full view can be great. Next is the table view. References here will appear in a table for easy sorting. Note that this view is limited to 2,000 citations. So to view more than 2,000 references in a table, you will need to export the references and open them in a spreadsheet program such as Microsoft Excel. Last is the citation view. And before I click on this, I want to show you the gear right here. If you have not set a citation view before, this is going to be blank. And so you need to click on this gear. And if you haven't selected a citation, this will also be blank. It's going to have you search. So for our examples, I'm going to be using APA 7. So I'm going to search for APA 7, and then it gives me a list of APA 7 styles. And for this, I'm going to choose APA 7 no case changes with the DOI. And also it has this highlight missing metadata. This can be toggled on and off, but if you have this checked on, it will search in your references and see if you're missing any key information. So I'm going to click save and show you what I mean by that. When you have this highlight metadata on, first off, you'll notice it shows up like an APA citation, which I think is really, really helpful to see what you may be missing. But if you are missing anything important or what RefWorks thinks important, it'll show off with this yellow kind of yield sign. And if you need to add something, you can just click on it. And it'll actually take you right to the edit window, and you can add like an issue, for example, and it'll take it away. If something isn't necessarily required, but RefWorks thinks you need it, it will show up as a blue question mark. It does not appear that I have any examples readily available, but it will show up with a little blue question mark telling you like, hey, you might want to add this, and you can add it by clicking on it like we did with the yellow yield sign. Lastly, the customize button right here. If you click on that, it'll allow you to show each source if it's in a folder. So if it's in a folder and you have this checked, it'll show you which folder it is. This is an example right here. This reference shows that it is in the mental health folder. And if I uncheck it, I can no longer see that folder. The other thing is you can see tags. And so with this selected, you can see all the tags associated with the reference without needing to open it up. And if I take that away, it disappears. That is the display function in RefWorks. Next, I want to show off tools. Tools right here is found in the top, and there is 5 different tools. The first is find duplicates. This opens up the window from earlier where we can have RefWorks look for duplicates. Then we have the bulk edit tool. This allows you to make changes to multiple references in specific fields, such as adding a tag to references. If a field already has data, you can have RefWorks keep existing data, overwrite the data, or append the existing data. Then we have 2 new things to RefWorks in the past year. The first is the plagiarism in AI content checker. This tool allows users to check if their manuscript contains plagiarized and AI-generated content. It searches across a multitude of resources for each scan, including 16,000 open access journals, 1 million plus internal documents, and 20 plus code data repositories. Then we have the pre-flight, pre-submission check. This performs a comprehensive scan of manuscripts for technical compliance and language quality, ensuring appropriate grammar, writing mechanics, readability, and academic vocabulary. It will also review technical aspects related to references, disclosures, limits, figure, tables, etc. And then the last tool we have is the extensions and add-ons. If I click on that, it has this saved to RefWorks, which is used to add references in full text to RefWorks from any website, and it's great for citing news sources. So if you're on a web page and you want to cite it, you can click Save to RefWorks and it'll cite it for you. Then we have the RefWorks writing tools, which are writing tools that can be used with Microsoft Word, Google Docs, and Hangul as you write. Finally, now that we have some references and an understanding of RefWorks different functions, let's create a bibliography with the sources we have added. To create a bibliography in RefWorks, click on the Create Bibliography button at the top of the navigation bar here. Now, We are going to default to all references for this example. So I'm going to click Create Bibliography and then Create Bibliography here. If you haven't done this before, similar to when we added the citations in the display, you're going to have to search for the citation style you want. And so what that looks like, again, is just the search bar. I'm going to type in APA 7 and select the one I want. And then it puts all of these references into APA 7 and you copy it to clipboard, and then you can paste it into the document you're working on with your bibliography. Now you'll notice it did all of my references. That was 96 of them. Say you only need a few, you can always select them before creating your bibliography. I'm going to select these 5, click Create Bibliography, and it'll actually default to only the selected references. So if you only need, say, 5 or 6 that you've already cited, select them and then copy it to clipboard that way. And what's really nice is even on this page, if you decided you actually need all of them, you can actually go to the top and just click All References, and it'll reload all of the references for you. The other way to create a bibliography that I want to show you today is the Quick Cite function. So I'm going to use a folder example for this. So I'm going to click on my folder. And so now when I pull up this Quick Cite, it's going to go from my folder. I'm going to do Quick Cite. And it's going to pop up this little box right here. Again, it's going to ask you first for that citation style. I'm going to show you APA 7. Click Continue. And this one's great to have popped up when you're working on your writing, because the first step is adding in-text citations. So you're writing and you need to have this user engagement. You click on the citation, it creates the in-text citation for you, and I can copy that into the document I'm working on as I go. If you need to add more than one for one check, you can actually just check multiples at once and it'll cite both in parentheses for you. But if you only need one and you need to deselect one, you do it that way. And so this is great, again, just for adding those in-text citations. And any of the ones I use, it'll add this little star. If you've noticed, I'm going to do this, use that. And once I've used my in-text citations, I'm going to click Continue to Bibliography. And it'll actually only put in the bibliography page the references I selected in that previous window. You'll notice I had more options, but it only did the 3 I specifically added as in-text citations and copied. Copy your references that way and paste it into your paper. Now, if you did need all the references from that previous page, you just didn't use the in-text citation function, you can always just click on this Include All, and it'll list all of your references for you to copy to clipboard and save over to your paper. And that's how you create that bibliography. The last option is the citation style editor. This will let you edit citation styles such as APA 7 to be very, very specific. I am not going to show you that today because it is very rare. And so this will conclude our digital scholarship workshop on citation management with RefWorks. If you want to learn more about RefWorks, you can go back to that citation tools page, which again from the library homepage is under Research Help Citation Tools. And there's the ProQuest Guide to RefWorks, which is the ProQuest Guide. And then there's the video tutorials page, which will take you to YouTube with ProQuest RefWorks video tutorials. Thank you for attending, and I'm going to hand it back to you, Kevin.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ben. Are there any questions? Okay. No questions. So I will say to this, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. And in that case, we will end the workshop today. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.